Welcome back, Turtles Hot Rods. Today, we're working on this old truck again. So, let me show you what we're doing today. Well, we got some fun stuff we're doing today. I thought we might put the doors on today, but I don't know. That'll happen later in the video because I just made a little game plan. If you remember, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, we replaced the bottom of the doors. Well, I did. You watched. And, well, I got some work to do now, so lots of body work needs to happen. I can feel this, and it ain't straight at all. It's warped up, you know, just, you know, not too terrible, but it happens. And I was not very good at doing body work, metal work, whenever I did this, you know, just kind of figuring it out. So we've got to do some body work on that. We got to get rid of this rust that's right here. And so we're going to do body work and primer on the inside of the door before we ever put it on the truck cab. So let's get started on that. First thing I'm doing is drilling holes in the door hinges. Just a 1/8 inch pilot hole that I can take a little pick. Let's see. I had a bunch of them in here, and ain't none of them. I had a few of them that are straight. Anyway, I got a couple of these. You take this whenever you're ready to put the door hinge back on, and you stick it in this hole, and then you stick another one in that hole, and then you put your bolts in and you tighten them down, and your door hinge will be in the exact same spot that it is now, even after you paint everything. Because while I am not going to paint this part of the door, I am going to paint the rest of the door. I'm gonna drill my holes. I'm gonna take my hinges off. I'm gonna set them to the side, and then I'm gonna get my I'm gonna flip the door over. I'm gonna get my DA sander out. I'm gonna tape up where I don't want to scratch my exterior paint. I'm gonna flip the door back over once it's all masked up, and I'm gonna get my DA sander out and just go to cleaning. I'm gonna get rid of this rust that's up here, this factory rust, and I call it factory. This original rust. You know, I didn't do that. That's from somebody's arm sitting on it every day. And I've got some welding repair to do. So it's broken up in here. You can see that's a hole. It ain't supposed to be there. This little deal here is broke. I gotta weld that back together. See how that moves? When I squeeze it, that ain't supposed to do that. Similar thing going on back here. This seam back here needs to get welded together. I'm painting all of this, so I'm not worried about any of that. So I'm gonna get to work, and you guys are gonna watch. Alright, well, I've welded up everything I think I need to weld up on this door. Remember whenever we did the original work on the doors, I did this to the passenger side. But I welded this up here. It's really common for this to get rusty and really weak. And because a lot of times you grab this and you shut the door. And so that'll get weak, and the top of the door frame will be wobbly like that. And then you can see where the other one, where I haven't fixed it yet, I can lightly squeeze this part of the door, and that moves because that's broken. So on this door, so now whenever you lightly squeeze here, it don't move. So, and then I went ahead and welded this up. That was ugly and broken. And then we had a crack going along here, along the bottom of the top hinge, and we had a crack on the top of the bottom hinge. So little stuff like that, fixing, is going to make this door more like a brand new door. Even though it's nowhere near brand new, it should open and close and be almost as rigid as a new door. So the next step is going to be fixing my holes here. If you look on this other door, we've got these little nutserts things right there. They just kind of push in from the front, I guess. And then at the bottom, we've got welded square nuts. So I'm gonna go to the hardware store and see what I can find. Hopefully they'll have some square nuts somewhere. O'Reilly's somewhere. I can get some of that. And then I can come back, get all of those replaced. And then I'm gonna strip the paint off of the inside of this door, as well as grind my welds. The outside of it, everywhere I don't want paint, is fully masked up. Like it was never even there, huh, buddy? Well, you know how it is by this point. You've seen, I think this is my third or fourth video on bodywork on this truck. So you get the picture. It's a whole lot of sanding and wiping and sanding and wiping until it's right. And then once it's right, we're going to put some primer on it. And you can see everything kind of taking shape. And I'm not worried about any of the factory ripples. You can see where there's bare metal and where there's paint. If there's paint on it, it means it's a low spot. And I ain't worried about that. I want it to have kind of a factory look. If we were going for a super, super nice show car, then all that would be worked smooth. And all these down here would be worked smooth. But you're never going to see this. I ain't even going to worry about these spot welds where I welded the bottom of the door back together. I'm just trying to make it look like it was never repaired or never injured. So, sanding and wiping and sanding some more. equation. I don't want to put a grinder on this part of the door on the truck. It's too much work. All right, so I got it to finally shut without colliding with the door frame. So it kind of, you can close it nice and easy now. And I'm ready to put some mud on there. So we just bodyworked and primed this door, but now it's time to do it for real to where it'll fit. This kind of a thing is always trial and error. I ended up taking my Scotch-Brite wheel grinder there and just kind of digging out where it was hitting, and then right there and there and there, and then I took my piece of pipe with 80 grit and I took this down smooth. So if you feel this, there's a slight, like it's flat and there's a slight dip down before it goes in and out, but whenever it's primed and painted you won't see that. So what I'm in ancient times, people would think you were a wizard with a magic wand. Well, that is going to conclude this episode of Turtles Hot Rods. We got primer on everything that we bodyworked. Did a lot in today's video. It's a bit of a longer episode. But if you've stuck around to this point, you might as well subscribe. Hit that like button, leave me a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video. We got some fun stuff planned for next video. Hopefully, we won't be doing more body work. We'll either be painting or we'll be putting the chassis together. So I'll see you then. Thank you for watching.